Hey everybody, good evening. It is Christy Knights with Ask the Therapist live every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I join you and we talk. We talk about what is on your mind, what is on your heart. We talk about questions that you have that you need answered in a place that is safe. We talk about whatever it is on your mind. So everybody is jumping on. Let's give everybody a few minutes to get settled in, and I'm going to invite some friends. I'd like you to invite some friends too. So let's see, who can we invite? All right, I'm just going to go down my list and invite everybody, right? So if you haven't done so, please share this out. Share this out to your friends and family so they know that they have a place that they can go that is safe to ask questions and to have the ability to just connect with others that are like-minded. Also, the opportunity to ask a therapist any question that they may have. Oftentimes, we don't necessarily have a therapist or a life coach, and we may be in need of asking those questions. So I just invited a whole bunch of people. I'm going to ask that you do the same and invite people out. Oh my goodness, everybody's rolling in. Hey, Sherry and Bill, Ray and Donnie, Margie and Sue, Debbie and Susan, Paula. Hey girl, how are you, Sue? It's great to hear from you. I am so glad you are here. So as always, I'm going to encourage you to share this out. We want everybody to know that they have this amazing resource for them. They want that they have this resource to meet live with me, the therapist, and ask their questions. We have several questions tonight, so I am so excited to get started. Hey, Shannon, welcome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I like the color blue. I think it's a very calming color, right? It's very relaxing. So, hey, PJ and Renee, it's great to see you guys. How has everybody's week been? I have to tell you that my week has been absolutely fabulous. There were some times that were a bit low, I mean, I'll be honest, but for the most part, it was pretty cool. There are some great things happening with the Unsung Heroes Live podcast, and I am so excited to share it with the world. I'm making some new friends in faraway places that have connections. And so I am really hoping that through you spreading the word and through the work that I am doing with these people who are so generous and kind and loving, that I will have the ability to share Unsung Heroes Live podcast with the globe, not just here locally, but with the globe. So again, welcome. I'm Christy Knights, and it is Ask the Therapist Live every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. We join together live to answer questions, to coach you in your life, as well as offer inspiration, motivation, and a place of peace and safety just to be. Check out your tribe. Look and see who I went like this, but it's actually this way on my screen. It just threw me off. Check out your tribe in the comment section. Look who is here. These are incredible people. These are warriors. These are people with passion and purpose who you can trust. If you've noticed, every week, it's the same people. How awesome is that? What a blessing that is to have the same people here each week, building rapport with each of you, showing support and care, and coming together. Hey, Christy, Lisa, and Gail, welcome. Welcome to Ask the Therapist Live. If you have a question, as always, ask in the comment section and I will answer for you live. Or you are also welcome to send me a private message. If you have my cell phone, you can text a question. You can send it to my email, which is christy@christyknights.com. You see my name above, or you can send a direct message in a social media platform. It will be completely anonymous and I will not reveal your name. So if you're not comfortable putting your question into the comment section, please send it to me privately and it will be anonymous. So yes, Shannon, I love that. Hello, fellow warriors. Yes, I love the word warrior for people who have survived day-to-day life, because it's tough. It's not easy. Each and every one of you work so hard each day just to show up. It can be overwhelming, whether it's things like personal life circumstances, finances, or mood disorder, perhaps anxiety, depression, or perhaps you just don't like your job. It takes work to show up every single day. So I am glad to have you here as warriors. Hey, Stephanie, great to see you. And Dara, great to see you. Paula, thank you so much for putting up my email. That is very appreciated. So let's get those questions started. We're about 5 minutes in, and everybody's getting settled. Grab your blankets. If you've been to my office, you know I don't do guidance without a blanket, although I'm in my own home office, so I don't feel the need to as much. But grab your blanket and let's get started. Again, share this out. If you haven't shared it out, please click share. It takes a second. Be proud that you can offer your friends this service. Hey, Lisa, it is great to see you. Lisa, you're gonna have to come on the show sometime, I think. I think that would be really cool. You're local. You're right in my area. So I would love, Lisa, sometime for you and I to chat, and you could join me as a co-host. I think that would be fun. Hey, Mick, it's great to see you, buddy. Welcome to Ask the Therapist Live. So let's see. I will wait for some questions to come in through the comment section. And until then, I'll get started with the ones that I received this week. Does that sound good? Hey, Paula, if you don't mind, please put up the suicide hotline. It's really important that the international hotline number is accessible. Sometimes we can talk about some really difficult things, and sometimes people who come here are really struggling with some suicidal thoughts, and we want to be sure that you have a resource, that you have a safe place that you can go if you need to talk beyond our time together. So the first question is, I'm considering a career change. I don't know when the best time is to make that change. Oftentimes, when we're considering a career change, there's a life stressor occurring, or we're not happy within our job, or perhaps not being treated kindly in our job, or perhaps we want an increase in money. So perhaps your reason may be different, but to answer your question, considering a career change, the time to make that change is when there isn't any other chaos going on in your life. By chaos, I mean not a major move or other major life decisions. Oftentimes, we want to make major life decisions at a time where emotions are raw and we're angry, upset. But instead, I want you to make a career change whenever you have quieted the spirit, you've been able to relax, calm down, and make it out of logic. So look at, hey, Rob, it's great to see you. Look at the reasons you want this job change. I want you to sit down. I want you to sit down and list the reasons for a career change. It needs to be logical. It needs to make sense. The best time to look for a job is when you already have one. So I do not want you to do anything that would jeopardize your current position because you've had it, right? So instead, sit down and list all of the things that you want to change about the job. What is your goal, right? What is your ultimate goal? So make the list of what your desires are. Look at where would you like to be professionally in 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. So I like to work with the number 5. I think 5 is good. Look at your career path in 5 years. Where do you want to be? Does your current career allow you to meet that goal? If not, what do you need to do to meet that goal? And then you begin to look for a position that matches your goals. So you're not leaving in duress, you're not leaving in a high level of stress and pressure, and you're not fired. You want to look for this job and find the job that works best for you when you have a job. So that's my suggestion to you. Take the time, sit down, write out what it is that you want to change in your job. You know, why? What is prompting you to want to make this change? Let's make sure it's about the job and it's not about other stressors outside of your job. Look at 5 years down the road. How are you going to move forward 5 years down the road professionally? What is your career goal? And then we work it backwards, and how do we make that happen? So I hope that helps in terms of making a career change. The best time to make a career change is when you don't need to. The best time to make a career change is whenever you're making a rational, logical decision that isn't overwhelming emotionally to you. You're able to see all of the options and network like crazy to land that job that you really, truly want. So while I was chit-chatting there, answering that question, I saw Amanda came in, and Angela, Crystal, welcome everybody tonight, and Jasmine, it is great to see you. Paul, thank you so much for joining in tonight to Ask the Therapist live every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Do you have a question? Would you like some guidance in your life? It doesn't matter what the question could be. Parenting, marriage, sex, career, emotions, whatever it may be, feel free to ask it. If you do not want to put your question in the comment section, then head over to the direct message, the private message of any social media platform, and I will check your question and read it anonymously and answer it for you. That's what we're here for tonight, to support one another, gather information so that life continues down a path of joy, peace, and in a direction you want to go. Has there ever been a time where you have felt stuck? Hey, Dr. Frank and Brittany, it is great to see you. Where you have felt stuck. You have felt like you can't move forward, whether that be in a personal relationship, in a career, or perhaps the goals that you're working towards. Have you ever felt like you're stuck? Whenever you experience that feeling of stuckness, I want you to learn to sit quietly. Sit quietly and begin to evaluate what is causing the resistance. You'll be able to feel it in your body. So, for example, I want to publish a book. I've published one book, and my second book is almost finished. The ending of the book, I just need another chapter, but I have been stuck resistant. I feel it right here in my chest. I feel that stuckness of why can't I finish this book, right? I took some quiet time just walking in nature, which is one of my favorite things to do, is to be outside. I took some time just to walk and to pray about it. And what I noticed very quietly in my spirit, what I noticed is I want this book to be a Christian book. And I have resisted this, and I needed to examine, why am I resisting this? What I have noticed is that my resistance was about fear of rejection, fear of the book not selling, fear of it being a failure because it wouldn't be what everybody wants, right? Can you truly find something that everybody wants? So for me, I identified that I was stuck finishing my book out of fear of rejection. I had to come to peace with the fact that I want this book to be a book that's a Christian book and published by a Christian publisher rather than myself. As you know, I publish books on the side for fun, but I did not want to publish this one. I wanted it to be bigger than life. I wanted it to reach a bigger audience than I can get. So in the area you're stuck in, whatever it may be, I want you to sit quietly. I want you to sit patiently. Feel in your body where you're experiencing that resistance. Put your hand in that place. Take 2 to 3 deep breaths and think about what is causing the resistance. Once you identify the resistance, it will then aid you in moving forward and becoming unstuck. It will allow you the ability to relieve the anxiety, the pressure, and move forward to achieve your goal, whether it be something like publishing a book or just getting out of bed. You know, it doesn't matter what your goal is. They are all equal. We each have that priority in our life of moving forward in some way. So it is great to see Anthony and Trisha, Marta. Great to see you as well. So Angela says, yes, understanding your own passion before choosing a career makes a huge difference. Absolutely, Angela. I could not agree more. Many times I've been told that people go to work absolutely miserable. They don't like their jobs. They don't want to be in their jobs. They feel stuck in their jobs. And oftentimes that's what I encourage, Angela, is looking at what is your passion. Now, if my husband's watching. He will tell you that not everybody gets to do their passion like I do. Not everybody gets to work and absolutely loves what they do. And I always say to him, yes, but that's by choice. Like, we all have a choice. You have a choice, right? Hey, Jenna, it's great to see you. And Layla, it's great to see you as well. Thank you for joining. So I agree with you 100%, Angela. Whenever we have the opportunity to work within our passion, whatever that's identified as, work within our passion, there is purpose. And when there is purpose in our life and there is meaning in our careers, in our jobs, we have such a desire to give endlessly from a deeper place. There are less incidents of depression, anxiety, OCD, or fatigue when we love what we do. So I encourage you, if you don't love what you do, let's figure out how to get you there. Let's figure out how to get you there. As a psychotherapist and a life coach, a business coach, I can certainly help you do that. You know the drill. All you have to do is reach out. I don't charge you for it. You just reach out and I'll help guide you and get you started. Thank you for that point, Angela. That was great. And Sue says, along the job lines, I kick butt in my day job, have helped my husband build a business that has allowed him to get back into it as his full-time passion and job. But despite all the personal improvement, head knowledge, and love of my side gig, this is a good one. I just can't seem to push myself to be successful. I am passionate about helping people, and this would give me the platform to do it. I just don't know why. And yes, I have a strong why. You just don't know why. So what is holding you back, Sue, from truly being successful? First and foremost, Sue, when you think about what you're doing, when you think about your area of passion, what is causing you to be stuck? What is causing that resistance? Is it the type of business it is? Is it the why? Perhaps the why needs to be more fine-tuned. Is it something physical, like a physical ailment? But whenever you sit, Sue, with it, when you sit with it and listen quietly to what it is, allow yourself to listen to that heart space speaking. I know you, Sue. I know you well, girl. And I know when you sit quietly, you're able to hear that inner voice tell you what's causing you to be stuck. And I want you to look at, how do you identify success? We all identify success differently. Some of us identify it through monetary, right? The amount of money we make. Others, we measure it by the lives we touch. Sue, how do you measure success? When we know what our definition of success is, it's much easier to accomplish that. So those of you who know me know I measure success by lives saved and the ability to teach value to each and every person that I come into contact with. I want them to know that they are important in my life, no matter if I'm just smiling at them as they cross the road, a complete stranger, or it's a best friend. So I measure my success based on lives touched, my legacy that I'm creating. I'd like to be able to pay the bills. That's really important, but it's not how I measure success. So I hope that helps you. Welcome, Christine. It's great to see you. Hello, hello. Hey, Kathleen, Frank, and Diane. It is great to see you, Diane. And Frank, welcome. As always, it's Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Ask the Therapist, where you have the opportunity to ask a question. So do you have a question? Put it in the comment section or send it to me a direct message so it's private. And you can text me if you've got my number. Let's see what the next question is. My son and daughter are close in age and fight all the time. They are 12 and 13. I want them to respect each other. How can I teach this? This is a great parenting question. How often do your children fight with each other? How often do siblings argue? Like, all the time. It's normal, right? It's all part of them growing, learning how to be independent, how to have their own personality, develop their own identity, learn how to manage conflict, learn how to resolve conflict. So although siblings, brothers and sisters fighting, our children fighting can drive us crazy, there are greater purposes for it. So first and foremost, what I want you to do is I want you to set your parameters around the conflict management, around the fighting. So what do I mean by this? Hey, Jess, it's great to see you. What I mean by this is in my household, my kids are very close in age. They are 13 months apart. So fighting happened, right? It's just the way it goes. Hey, Pam, great to see you. So what I did is I set ground rules. In my house, there was no physical violence permitted when fighting. This is even when they were little, like 3 or 4, all the way up to current. They're not permitted to physically touch one another when they're fighting. This is unacceptable behavior. You must respect each other's space. You must respect and hear the other person without becoming physically violent. This is often something that parents will say to me is a struggle with their kids. They want to hit each other, punch each other, wrestle, whatever. It becomes physically violent. Teach your children as part of conflict management that violence is not okay. It's not an option in our house. That was my number one rule with my children. The second rule was no swearing. I wanted them to use appropriate language whenever they argue with one another, whenever there's a fight. They cannot name call or swear. What we know whenever we argue or fight or in conflict with somebody, even you and I, whenever someone swears at us or perhaps they call us a derogatory name, we feel awful. And it begins to chip away at our self-esteem, our self-worth. This is true of the children too. So another rule that's really important is no swearing and no name calling whenever you're teaching your children how to manage conflict. And this starts when they're younger. And if you didn't do it when they were younger, it's okay. It is never too late. That's one of the number one questions I get from parents is it too late? Did I mess up? No, it is not too late. These are learned behaviors, and we are highly intelligent human beings, and we can unlearn the behavior and learn a new behavior and how to cope. Oftentimes, language or name calling in any relationship is a sign of weakness, insecurity, inability to articulate our own thoughts and feelings. So we want to teach our kids how to do that. Next, what I'd like you to do is when they are in conflict, allow them to work through it. Do not step in unless it becomes physically violent, name calling, or degrading. If they are working through an argument, permit your child to develop their own identity, their own method of conflict resolution, as long as it's safe and it's healthy. Because managing conflict is essential as an adult. So we want our kids to learn how to say what they mean what they say, and honor each other when they argue, when they have conflict. And I know sometimes it sounds a little fairy tale, but it's really important that we teach our children to listen to one another, to be able to take that deep breath, take a time out if it's necessary to resolve the conflict. But listening to each other is so important. These skills that you're teaching them about conflict resolution will carry through into all of their relationships and allow such great success in their relationships. So it's very important. Now that the ground rules are set for managing conflict with your teenagers, the next thing is to cultivate trust. For your children to be close, they must learn to trust one another. So how can this be done? Very simply, it can be done through family activities. Yes, family activities like kayaking, canoeing, rope climbing, different activities that create a bond because you have to rely on one another, deepens the relationships between the siblings. When they have to rely on one another and protect one another to get through an activity, they learn to respect one another. They become closer. They have a shared memory of a bond. So that is the last thing I would suggest that you do, is set those ground rules. And then after you set the ground rules, I want you to really work to not only model that behavior, as Paula is saying, absolutely, you've got to model that behavior, but then I want you to have family activities that force everybody to do some bonding, some quality time without the electronics, things that are a little risky. like rock climbing and hiking and, canoeing, kayaking, rope climbing. All of these things really add to a relationship and create that bonding. So great question. Thank you very much. And I hope that helps. And Sherry, hey, it's good to see you. Hey, Heike, great to see you. My job has been very demanding. I'm doing the job of 5 people. Oh, Sherry, tell it again, girl, right? I mean, how many people working in corporate is working like the job of 5 people? I think this actually just gets worse year after year. I am tired every day after work. I literally just work and sleep. I'm too tired to do anything. Any advice? This is a great question, Sherry. So I'm sure if I say, hey, raise our hands, how many of you after work are like too tired to do anything? I would have a bunch of thumbs up, right? So if you've experienced that where you are too tired after work and all you do is sleep and work, give me a thumbs up. I know there are others out there to let Sherry know that she's not by herself. I know that's very true for me, Sherry. There are many times where I feel like I'm just working and sleeping, working and sleeping. What do we do to make that shift? Sherry, just identifying it and becoming aware of what your need is, that is the first start. Just saying it out loud. Now, Sherry, I want you to take it from words to action. I want you to begin to look at your schedule and document over the next 5 days. I want you to document every minute of your day. Yes, it sounds overwhelming. It sounds like a tedious task. But what we find is when we document what we do every moment of the day for just a week, we see there are actually large pockets of time that we are wasting, or pockets of time that were free that we don't realize are free. Or we learn more efficient ways to complete our tasks so we do have that time. So Sherry, after you document for a week what you do every minute of the day, I want you to then circle in red those pockets of time that you have. If you look at your schedule and you don't have any pockets of time, I want you to evaluate if life is out of balance, if perhaps it's time to either cut back on the work or look at how you prioritize your time. Look at what you are doing during your downtime. Are you sleeping more than you need to sleep? Are you sleeping after work plus at night? Look at where you're losing that time. Begin to make it a priority to take care of yourself so you don't burn out. Make it a priority to find and identify those pockets of time that may be slipping through the cracks that you're not even aware of, Sherry, that you can take advantage of for self-care. And that goes for everybody here today. Hey, Bill and David, it's great to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. That goes for everybody. How do you do with work-life balance? This is often one of the biggest questions I get. Oh, thank you, David, for your kind words. I really appreciate it. I think, David, you can see I am absolutely in my element. I absolutely love serving you and everyone here this way. It has become a highlight of my week. So I just appreciate your kind words. Thank you, David. So work-life balance, we all have struggled with it from time to time. Taking care of ourselves, self-care is essential. And like I say, it is more than, a glass of champagne and a bubble bath or a beer and a hot shower. That's not self-care. That's relaxing, but self-care really is daily ways that you care for yourself so that you do not burn out, so that you can be present for the people in your life that love you and who you need to care for. Hey, Julian, it's great to see you. Thank you for joining. So some of the self-care methods that I'm talking about, people will roll their eyes and say, I don't have time. My day's so busy. I think of myself last. Yeah, I get it, but you're making a choice. You make a choice to care for yourself or not. So let me explain. When I go to work every day, when I go into my office, I commute into my office. It's a 45-minute commute. I have a choice. I could complain, whine that it's 45 minutes. I could hop on the phone with a friend and talk to somebody and decompress and get ready for my day and share about life with someone. Now, if you know me, I don't talk on the phone. That to me is not relaxing. To me, that is stressful. I just don't care to be on the phone. I hate the phone. And that's okay. We each come at a different place. But that is one way for self-care, is to connect with people that you love on your commute to work. I personally listen to praise and worship music. To me, that is how I take care of my heart and soul, right? I listen to praise and worship music. Turn on your favorite station. Turn on the music you love. Instead of dreading going into work and that anxiety being there at the pit of your stomach as you're driving in, be in the moment. Listen to music that you love. Don't be afraid to dance in your car on the way to work. The other option that you have is podcasts. Podcasts are hugely, hugely popular right now. And from what I understand, they are going to continue to explode. Podcasts are a great way to rejuvenate. There is a podcast on every subject you can imagine. The podcasts that I create are on mental health issues and concerns. They are stories about people who have struggled and now they are doing amazing. It is an opportunity where someone shares their darkest moments and then they share the rise. So that's just one topic. There are many on money, inspiration, motivation, finance, career, religion, politics, you name it. So you could listen to a podcast. That's self-care to me. You're driving in, feeding your soul, right? Feeding that soul. Another way could just be getting up 15 minutes early to have that cup of coffee with your partner, or have that cup of coffee on the porch, on the swing, or sing in your kitchen. Just that 15 minutes of downtime allow you to take a few deep breaths, appreciate where you're at in life, and then move forward about your day. Throughout your day, how can you practice self-care? Again, I'm going to tell you it's actually pretty easy. You can find pockets of time where you just do something very simple, like taking a few deep breaths, the ability to take a deep breath and just relax, clear the mind so that you can move forward in your day. You can do it at lunch, at break time. You can set aside the time throughout your day. I don't care what your career is, you can do it if you choose to. It's very simple to breathe. We all need to breathe more. The other option is take a 15-minute walk, right? Many people take walks during their workday. This is an option too. Self-care also includes what you eat. What does your lunch look like? What are you drinking all day? Your body, what you feed your body, what you feed your body is a direct correlation to your mind. So what are you feeding yourself? How do you care for yourself and your food? So self-care in that way is important. And then finally in the evening, self-care you can sneak it into simply through things like exercise, right? Taking a walk, spending time with family or friends, watching your favorite television shows, listening to music. There is a wealth of opportunity. If you just slide in 5 to 10 minutes throughout your day of self-care, it will make a big difference in your mood. And Sherry, I am sorry to hear that you feel like you're burnt out already. It's important that you rejuvenate from that and come back from being burnt out. And you can do that by making sure to take your vacation days, take your personal days, allow yourself to just shut down. There is nothing more powerful than meditation and yoga to reset the heart and the spirit, no matter what you do professionally. The science is there, so check it out and make it a practice. So Paula, you said you're stuck. I think we're gonna have to work on this. We need to figure out what's causing you to be stuck, right? What's causing you to be stuck? All right, so I'm gonna check social media. I saw a few messages coming in. Let's see if anybody has some questions. Okay, nothing in email. All right, so I do have some on Facebook. I love it, love it. All right, so here we go. My husband has been working in a different state. I have been so content without him here. He came home and it was a mess. We were both miserable. This scares me. How do I know if this is significant? We are happier without him. What should I do? Whew. Wow. Thank you so much for that question. And that's Oh, that's a question that has come in anonymously, and I want to respect that person's privacy. And basically, what that person is saying is her husband has been working out of state, and she has found some contentment with him being out of state. And when he returns, there's stress in the home, and it's a mess, and it seems that they're, happier when he's away. So how does she know if this is significant or not? Hey, Kelly, welcome. Great question. Great question. So first and foremost, let's look at the marriage. When you look at the marriage, where do you think that you're at? Do you think that the marriage is healthy, marked by excellent communication skills, the willingness to grow together, the commitment to really uphold one another and love one another with respect, the commitment to challenge each other, to grow, common goals, right? Enjoying hobbies together. So is the marriage healthy? If the marriage isn't healthy, this is a good indicator that this may be significant. It doesn't mean that you need to make a decision based on emotion. There is much transition going on in your family. There is much major life decisions happening in your family. So this isn't the best time to make that decision. I definitely want you to be able to make that decision whenever it's more calm, whenever you are more settled in your life transition and can look at things logically. I think it is so wise to recognize what you are feeling and understand that it's important that you share this with your husband. Be honest. Sit down and explain that it scares you, that while he was gone, the household seemed to run a little smoother. You wanted to understand why. You wanted to get a grip on what is the difference. I would be careful in how you word it. You don't want to hurt him. I'm sure he'll be hurt anyways. And unfortunately, in relationships, we get hurt, and that's okay. But it's how we do it. We don't want to be malicious. But if it is through honesty and respect, then you can work together to heal through it. So being honest with your husband and sharing. I don't think it's necessary to say, hey, we were way happier without you. It was so much better without you. Now you're here. It's an absolute mess. I don't think you want to go in at that speed, right? Hey, Jody, great to see you. But instead, being able to share, hey, look, the household ran a little smoother when you were away. Let's evaluate. What did we do differently? What do you and I need to do to adjust the climate of our household so it runs smoothly when you're here too? This gives you an opportunity to evaluate the bumps in the road and what may be causing it and to begin to heal it. If you choose to not acknowledge it, if you choose to ignore it, it will only create resentment and fester. This isn't something that you keep to yourself. This isn't something that you avoid. This is something you talk about and work together to a solution instead of further apart from one another. You know as much as I do, marriage is sacred. And the goal is when things are tough, as long as you're safe and there isn't physical abuse going on and emotional abuse, verbal abuse, as long as those things aren't there and you're safe, I want you to use these opportunities instead of panicking, worrying. I want you to dig deeper. I want you to use it as an opportunity to grow as a couple. Be able to be honest with each other, authentic with one another so that you can learn and grow. So I hope that helps. Yes, it's significant. I'm glad you brought the question to our attention. And yes, I need you to deal with it and not avoid it. I want you to talk to your husband about it and help each other understand what's causing the change in the climate and how to get it to a place where there is good, solid partnership where you can enjoy each other's company. But I know right now for you, it's a very, very stressful time, major life transitions for you. And I know that that's part of the wave of emotions that you're experiencing right now. All right, let me scroll, make sure we don't have any questions. And I did not check Instagram, so I want to check Instagram. Every once in a while we get some questions through Instagram. The weather today was beautiful. Oh, I'm here in Pennsylvania and it is just stunning. It was bright and sunny and warm. It is about time. We all need the sun, I have to tell you. All right, so nothing in any social media. All right. As always, Christy Nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Tuesday night is Ask the Therapist Live. Be sure to share this out. Share this with your friends and family so they know they have a resource where they can come and meet with me, a therapist, and all of you warriors in a place of safety for inspiration, motivation, and some direction in life. So I have another question. I am caring for my aging mother and tired all the time. What can I do so I don't burn out? I'm caring for my aging mother and I'm tired all the time. What can I do so I don't burn out? This is actually a really, really good question. Caring for someone, being a caregiver, is extremely draining. It's draining physically and emotionally. Not only are you managing your own life and family, but now caring for an aging parent has become part of your daily work. And this can become very challenging. So I love this question. I think it's really important. First and foremost, I think it's important when there's healthy relationships within our family that we care for our aging parents. We care for our aging relatives. We have seen many people move away from this, move away from the care of others because life is too busy. I want you to think about that. And I want you to think about, where will you be whenever you are aging and unable to care for yourself? Do you want someone to be able to care for you? Or do you want to be taken care of by someone else? Everybody feels differently. Knowing what you want is important. But I do really encourage people, care for your aging family. There's nothing more rewarding if there's a healthy relationship there than to care for them. If the relationship isn't healthy, I totally get it. Sometimes toxic relationships need those boundaries. So in order to care for yourself, so you're not as tired as a caregiver, I want you to set some boundaries. If the person is living with you, we don't know many details from this question, but if this person is living with you, I want you to take some respite time. I want you to talk with either an agency or perhaps other family members that can come in and relieve you 2 evenings a week and 1 weekend a month, just to start. I think it's really important that you have your own time. I think it's important that you care for yourself and your family. So there are agencies out there who will provide respite care or come in and sit with your relative. I would like you to get out 2 evenings a week and 1 weekend a month to just take care of yourself. That's first and foremost. Second is, who else can you have help you? Are there other family members that are willing to come and visit, help prepare meals, help with laundry, or whatever it may be? If they're not in your home, can they help with visiting, caring for that home of that aging parent? Is there other people that can help? That's second, right? Let's make our support system bigger. Let's call the people who are in our lives accountable, right? We want them to be accountable for loving our aging parents, our aging relatives equally, right? If they can, if they're able to do that. If they're out of town and there's an aging parent, such in my case, now my parents aren't that old, so they're good. They're nice and healthy. They're young, actually. But my brother lives in Colorado. So he lives out of town as my parents age. So we have to plan, how is that going to work when the time comes? He may be able to do different things, like care for the finances across the distance, right? So giving out of state relatives some level of responsibility is helpful too, to help shoulder that burden. Third is that self-care, being able to take care of yourself with little things. Make sure you're eating right, staying hydrated, exercising, really spending time with friends that you love and care about, getting the sleep that you need, and being able to truly be in touch with your spiritual side. You know, as a Christian, for me, that is huge. It's massive. It's what keeps me grounded every single day. So I want you to be sure that you are truly relying on your faith as well. So these are just a few things in order to care for yourself and not feel as tired when you're caring for someone who's aging. If you want more information, I have some great books. I've got great links to caring for your aging relatives, and I'm more than happy to send them out. So private message me. Yes, Paula, if friends are offering assistance, allow them. This is the way they feel as if they can support you. Absolutely true. That is very true. When your support system offers to help you, allow it. Do not say no. Do not try to play the superhero. Allow them to help and support you. Hey, Shannon and Brenda, it is great to see you. Thank you for joining. And Sunil, it's great to see you as well. It's great to see so many wonderful people here tonight at Ask the Therapist Live, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday. Do you have a question? Do you have a worry? Would you like some guidance in life? Don't hesitate. Put it in the comment section. Send me a direct message. Email me. Whatever you need to do to get your question answered. So I have another question. I have always been healthy and suffered a mild heart attack a month ago. Now I'm afraid I'm going to die young. I'm only 32. Can you help me? So I've always been healthy, and then I suffered a mild heart attack a month ago, and now I'm afraid I'm going to die young. I'm 32. Can you help me? Whew. Yeah, that is young, right? 32 and had a heart attack. I am so sorry that you had to go through this. This is an anonymous question, so I want to respect the privacy of this person, but I am so sorry. That must have been terrifying for you, very scary. Especially, as a society, we think of heart attacks from people who are much older. We don't want them to happen at all, but we certainly don't think about them with people who are so young as you at age 32. So I am so sorry. So the first part of healing through this trauma is to recognize that it was a trauma for you, to receive that validation from your family, friends, a therapist, if you're in need of professional support, or a life coach to say, yes, this was a traumatic experience for you. This was scary for you. Anyone in your position would have been scared too. Do you see? I'm validating the pain that you experienced. I'm validating the trauma that you experienced. Validation of our own pain or validation from someone else allows us to begin to move forward and heal. Until the pain is validated, we are stuck. We search for ways to have it validated, to ground us so that we don't feel like we are crazy. So yeah, I am so sorry that happened. So we validate that pain. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to know this was a trauma. This was truly a trauma, and you're experiencing some symptoms of post-traumatic stress. Often we think of post-traumatic stress related to the military, but that's not always the case. Hey, Jason, great to see you. Hey, Jerry, welcome. That's not often always the case. We can experience PTSD when we are exposed to any trauma in our life. It could be anything from someone stalking us, to a natural disaster, to a fire in our home, to heart attack. There are many different types of traumas we experience. And you, my friend, a mild heart attack is a trauma. So whenever we see it as a post-traumatic stress, there are ways to treat that. Second is to stay in the moment. Oftentimes we become anxious about our health and worry about our health because we're worried about the past or we're worried about the future. What I want you to do is practice mindfulness. Practice staying in the moment, reminding yourself that you are now healthy. That although you had a mild heart attack, you are now aware of where your health is at and what you need to do to strengthen your body and to be strong. That allows you to move into a place of feeling like you have control. Many times when someone has something physically wrong with them or a trauma like a heart attack, there is this loss of control. The loss of control also elevates our anxiety, causing us to feel depressed or overwhelmed or fearful of the future. So recognizing that there are steps you can take to care for yourself for a long life will also help you begin to move forward and not be really gripped by that fear or that anxiety of dying. So practicing mindfulness is one of the most important. If you don't know how to do that, you can learn how to do that on YouTube. There's lots of guided videos. You can text message me or send me a direct message and I will send you information. Hey, Jonathan and Ronnie, it is great to see you both. Great to see you both. You can also take a yoga class. Yoga is very, very good. Hey, Jonathan, tell everybody how amazing yoga is for the mind and the body. Jonathan knows. Yoga teaches you how, with an instructor, how to move into that mindful space to just be quiet and be present. And that will help you release the fear of dying. So I hope that has helped you in terms of, being able to move forward after a heart attack and letting go of that fear of dying. You have the validation of the pain, being mindful to release the anxiety and depression, taking control of your life in ways that you know are good for your health, having that support, seeking professional support if you need to. Therapists are more than happy to work with you when it comes to something like fear of dying, whether it's traditional therapy that I offer or EMDR, like I talked about last week. EMDR is a form of therapy that really targets trauma. So I hope that helped. All right. So that was all my questions that I got this week. Great questions, right? I can't tell you how many times we have such amazing questions from people, like really tough questions, life-challenging questions, questions that you think of and may be afraid to ask. That's the advantage of this space, is that oftentimes there are questions that are asked that you too have struggled with. I'm going to check social media one more time to make sure I don't miss any questions. And then we can look to wrap it up. I hope everybody has had a great evening with me tonight. It has been such a joy to sit in your space. It has been such a joy to share my time with you and share your time. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate who you were, who you are, and who you will be. You, my friend, you, my warrior, are an incredible person. You are lovable, you are kind, you are giving. I want you to know that you are enough. Hey, Debbie, it's great to see you. So it is so important. It is so important for you to hear those words. You are enough. If you feel like, or you're struggling with anxiety or depression, or having dark thoughts about suicide, you are not alone. Never alone. You know where to find me. You can direct message me. Check out your warriors. Oh my gosh, it's the wrong way again. It's backwards. Check out your warriors. Forget it. I'm just not going to do it. In the comment section, right? Check out the warriors in your comment section. These are people who you can reach out to anytime, day or night. I know the majority of the people in the comment section, they are amazing people with huge hearts that would give the shirt off their back. This is the kind of people that come to this session every Tuesday night. These are people who have an amazing heart and soul, and they are looking to serve those around them. I love each and every one of you. We talked before about how can I say I love you when I don't know you? I can say I love you because I know that you are an incredible person and that you have the ability to give back. You have the ability to serve someone. If you are stuck in life, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel like you're not enough, I want you to get out there and serve. Find ways to give back to your community and to your family. Serve one another. That is the only way to have success in life. I offered my counseling services to someone most recently who was suicidal, and they said to me, I don't have insurance. I didn't want to ask for a favor. Hey, Carolyn, it's great to see you. I didn't want to ask for a favor. And I said, wait a minute, you're having suicidal thoughts and you're afraid to ask because it may be a favor? Well, I live to serve. I live to serve. So if you can't afford therapy or you don't have insurance, we will find a way for you to get it. There are not only many social service agencies, but what I told this person was, hey, if I am not here to serve you, then my life has been wasted. it's been wasted. And I truly believe that with every ounce of my being. Hey, Jason, it's great to see you tonight. I believe that we become whole again, healthy, happy, when we serve others, when we give back to others through our strengths. You don't know your strength? No problem. All you have to do is reach out to me and I'll help you figure out your strengths. And then you'll know where you're supposed to serve. So just a few announcements before we wrap up, if there's not any more questions, because I am happy to hang out and answer more questions if you type them. It's okay, Carolyn, no big deal. We'll have the replay. If you have a question, Carolyn, please don't hesitate to type it in. I don't mind hanging out longer to answer your question, but just a few quick announcements. First, iRise Leadership Institute, the nonprofit I founded, our mission is to eradicate suicide. We are launching the first ever teen support group for suicide prevention and awareness in our area. So I am very excited that we will be launching this on this Thursday, May 10th. We have an information session for parents and community members. Parents and community members and your kids who are ages 13 to 18, we want you to come out, meet the staff, meet me, who will be leading the community group, the support group, and learn about what we're doing. If your child has been affected by suicide in any way, whether it is themselves having suicidal thoughts or an attempt, or perhaps they've lost a family member or a friend to suicide, you are invited to join us this Thursday night. I want you to reach out, look at where the location is. I don't have the address right with me, but it is on iRise's page. So if you find iRise Leadership Institute, I want you to like the page, and then you will see the information. Come out and join us for that meeting, and let's show our community that we are no longer willing to tolerate this epidemic of suicide, that we are going to make our voices loud for our kids so they know that no matter the choices they have made, no matter how dark it feels in their lives, they aren't alone. So I am excited to launch that new program here in our town in the Pittsburgh area this Thursday. June 1st, we are doing another screening of Suicide: The Ripple Effect. We had a sold out theater April 20th and had a blast. It was such a great time. Don't get me wrong, it was very emotionally draining for many people, and it was really hard at times, but the movie was one of inspiration. And I share with you that I had a blast because my heart was so full to see the seats full, to see people care about suicide prevention and awareness, who are working towards healing. I was just so pleased with our community in Butler County, just so pleased. So June 1st, if you want tickets, head over to iRise Leadership Facebook page, and you can find the place where you click and you can purchase tickets. We have to sell 43 in order to bring it to our theater again. Last time we sold 120. We need to sell 19 more tickets to get to our 43 mark. Once we do that, then we will guarantee the movie, and we would love to sell out the theater again. I actually had a request from someone from Western Psych just today, and Paula doesn't know this. She's the vice president of iRise, and I haven't told her yet, but we had someone reach out from Western Psychiatric Institute and Clinic wanting to work with iRise and how we are doing the movie screening, work with us, as well as look at some opportunities in the community to market iRise and what we do. So to have that community support with Western Psych is massive, and I am just beyond humbled about that. We want to get the word out. So I think that's all for announcements. If you like what you see tonight, I want you to share it out, right? I want you to share it out. And then I want you to come back next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your questions. This will be available as a replay. I will also have the opportunity to share this to YouTube, and it will be on, what else will I put it on? YouTube and Facebook. I could probably put it on the website too. I'll check that out and try to do that. But you can watch the replay. Share it out, share the replay. This is important, right? I mean, I'm not charging anything for this. This is free advice. So you want your friends and family to be a part of this. And My heart space is about truly reaching the masses to serve each and every person that I possibly can with my gifts and my talents and my strengths that God gave me. So please share this out. And thank you so much for coming. Please do not forget, check out Unsung Heroes Live podcast. When you hear the stories of the people on these podcasts, your heart will melt, you will grow exponentially, and you will learn so much from their stories. Most recently, I interviewed a young woman who was almost killed through domestic violence. She was near death and now is a beautiful advocate for women in domestic violence. I interviewed her just this week, and she shared her story. She was such a brave, brave warrior. And I was so proud of her. Lots of great stories on Unsung Heroes Live podcast. It's another great one to download and share. You can get it on iTunes, Google Plus, or SoundCloud. Hey, Kendra, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for popping in, Kendra. So if there are no more questions, we have been on the air for a little over an hour. I have loved my time with you. I have loved sharing space with you. I love each and every one of you. You are precious to me. If you ever forget it, reach out and I'll remind you. You are precious and priceless. I value you. You are enough. Have an amazing evening, an amazing week, and until next Tuesday, remember, just be yourself. Serve one another, and be who you need to be. Right before we go, Carolyn says, thank you. My son passed 2 years ago. I got a divorce a year later, and now he lost his job and I have no income. My daughter is making poor choices because this is too much for her to handle. How can I help her? She is 16. My family has so much to deal with. Wow, Carolyn, thank you so much for sending your question, and I am so happy that you did. It's not too late. It's okay, Carolyn. I'm going to hang out with you, girl. I'm going to hang out with you. Hey, Christy, it's great to see you. No need, Carolyn. Hang out with me. Please don't go. I'm going to answer your question. I am so sorry, first and foremost, that your son has passed. That is devastating. And what we know, unfortunately, evidence-based, is that whenever a family loses a child, it is difficult to maintain the relationship. It is such a stressor on the marriage. And there has to be extra work done in the marriage to be able to recover from the loss of a child. And recover sounds, I didn't like that word, even though I said that, to be able to heal from the loss of a child. I don't believe you ever recover when you lose a child, right? You begin to heal, but that pain, that wound is always there, and it eats away at the marriage. So yeah, that's tough, and the statistics are really high. So I am so sorry that you've had to not only walk the loss of your son, but the loss of your marriage too. Him losing his job, I would imagine, hits at your income. It makes it even more stressful for you financially. It feels overwhelming. The first thing I want you to do, Carolyn, is I want you to give yourself a big hug. Remind yourself that you are a warrior. You are a survivor. And girlfriend, you've got this. You have a much resilience and strength in you. And I want you to make a plan for success. What I mean by that is when we're feeling overwhelmed, oftentimes it's because we don't know where we're going. We know where we've been, and it's been awful. We don't know where we're going. So Carolyn, I want you to sit down and think about what are 3 goals that you have over the next 6 to 12 months. I don't want you to push it out any further. You may even need to go 3 to 6 months. Start shorter time. List the goals that you have. One of them may be to help your daughter. And in order to help your daughter, it may need to be therapy. It may need to be a coach, or getting her involved in some activities, or a support group with other children that have experienced the loss of a sibling. Maybe another one is for you to be able to find alternate income for yourself. Perhaps with the loss of your ex-husband's job, Perhaps now you need to find some income. And what does that look like? What are some ways you're able to generate income without compromising being a mom for your daughter? And maybe another goal is to emotionally work through the loss of your son. Have you done that? Have you been able to heal? So looking 3 to 6 months out, Carolyn, what are some things that you can do to set some goals to begin to work through and create a plan? Once you have a plan, you will feel like you're able to do more. You can help her through sharing your plan, helping her create a plan, getting her involved in community activities. If she needs to see a therapist, to talk with a therapist, I recommend that highly, of course, as well as if she's struggling with suicidal thoughts or depression, anxiety, evaluating, does she need something like a supplement or medication to treat her emotions? And then gathering a tribe around her is huge. Oftentimes kids at 16, they don't want to be bothered. At least they don't think they do, but the truth is they do, and they're just waiting. They're just waiting for you to support them and help them. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Angela. It's great to see you. So those are some of the initial steps, Carolyn, that I'd like you to do. Set a plan for yourself, 2 to 3 goals over the next 3 to 6 months. In that, identify the goals to help your daughter. Help her get the support she needs, whether it's through a support group, a counselor, in your church, with friends or family, activities. Begin to help her connect again with who she is. Your identity, her identity, your ex-husband's identity has all changed with the loss of your son. And that's serious. Realigning your identity and figuring out who you are after the loss of a child is earth-shaking. It's earth-shaking. But I know that you can do it. I apologize, it's making me emotional. I want to hug you, Carolyn. I want you to know that you're not alone, that you are not alone. You are loved and cared for, and you will get through this. And I will walk with you every step of the way. Please don't hesitate to set up a time with me just to flesh out a plan to help you create one for you and your daughter. Life is so beautiful. You make it beautiful. She makes it beautiful. Allow me to help you to get your feet on the ground again and create that plan. So, any other questions? See, Carolyn, you weren't too late. I'm so glad you hung out. I'm so glad you asked your question too. I appreciate your vulnerability. All right. So I think we're good. What an amazing time tonight. Again, thank you. Thank each of you for being here, for sharing your space with me, for just taking the time to join me. And as always, as I've said many times, you are loved. You are enough. You are enough. When you get off, I want you to say, I am enough. I am enough. I want you to say it to yourself 3 to 5 times. Breathe in deep, I am enough. There is something that occurs in the brain biochemically when we say, I am. Just how we move our mouth relaxes the brain. I am. Yes, I am enough. I am worthy. I am beautiful. I am loved. Just saying it. But when we end tonight, what I want you to do is say, I am enough. And I want you to repeat that 3 to 5 times, okay? You do that homework for me. And I want you to do it every day. Please, for me. I would really appreciate that. So until next week, I'm Christy Knights with Ask the Therapist Live every Tuesday night. Every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My opportunity to connect, to serve you with my strengths, reminding you that you are priceless, you are loved, and you are enough. Good night.